Welcome to Taiwan Headlines, news that matters to Taiwan's future. So no cars being driven into convenience store stories. According to the Central Epidemic Command Center, the crisis caused by a COVID-19 cluster infection at Taoyuan General Hospital is over. However, after announcing that, Taiwan reported one new domestic case of COVID-19, as well as 4 new imported cases on Thursday. The new domestic case is related to a nurse infected in the cluster infection centered at the Taoyuan Hospital. With this new case, all of the nurse's 7 family members are now confirmed COVID-19 patients. So while the hospital itself may be safe, it could still be spreading elsewhere. Pharmaceutical company Moderna has entered into an agreement with the Taiwan government for the supply of 5 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccines are likely to arrive beginning in the second quarter of 2021. The Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is also supposed to be on its way, but the arrival date appears to have been delayed. The Ministry of Education has announced the lifting of an entry ban for international students that has been in place since January. The recall campaign against Taiwan state building party's only legislator, Wanda Chembowe, also known as 3Q or Sang-Q, has submitted their signatures for the first signature drive. If approved, they will have to complete a second large signature drive to qualify for a formal recall. The campaign slogan is a play on Sang-Q, Shang-Q, which means delete Q. Sang-Q is a playful way of rendering how the English thank you sounds to Taiwanese ears. Taiwan exported a record amount in January, with shipments surging almost 37% to 34.3 billion, probably US dollars, the most in data going back to 1981. It is said to have been fueled by rising demand for computer chips and by companies rushing to get components ahead of the Lunar New Year holidays in February. Imports also hit a record over the same period, up almost 30%. Commenting on cross-strait relations during a national security meeting, President Tsai said Taipei is always willing to push for meaningful cross-strait dialogue on the basis of equal footing, quote, as long as Beijing is willing to resolve antagonisms. She noted, cross-strait peace is not a unilateral issue for Taiwan. The key lies in China's hands. Historical experience has proven that verbal attacks and military threats against Taiwan will not help cross-strait relations. She went on to say, we would also like to wish the people on the other side of the strait a happy new year and hope to jointly promote peace and stability on both sides of the strait. In that same meeting, the president said Taiwan's relations with its most important ally, the United States, have remained solid despite the change in U.S. administrations last month. She said Taiwan was in close contact with relevant countries about the situation in the Taiwan Strait, but added, I would like to reiterate that Taiwan's consistent position on cross-strait relations is neither to succumb to pressure nor to advance rashly when we get support. As always, the president was firm but not confrontational, making it very clear which side of the strait is the aggressor. China's Taiwan Affairs Office issued a statement saying, quote, the DPP authorities should take full responsibility for the current status of the cross-strait relations. Last I checked, the DPP authority hasn't been militarily threatening the People's Republic. Following her remarks, KMT Chair Johnny Chiang, or Jiang Jitsen, urged Taipei and Beijing to seek opportunities to resume official dialogue and normal people-to-people exchanges. He also noted on Facebook, quote, we have also noticed that President Tsai has, in recent speeches, tried her best to show goodwill to the other side of the Taiwan Strait. Speaking to a think tank, Prague Mayor Zdeněk Hryb said he has not suffered any personal cost for his support of Taiwan and Tibet, and he believes China's power to inflict economic damage on the Czech Republic in response to such expressions of solidarity has been greatly overestimated. He added he felt a moral duty to state that China is an unreliable business partner that has failed to follow through on promised investment in the Czech Republic, and that, in any case, speaking out against human rights violations is of greater priority than economic gain. All right, that's it for today's show. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, there's that cute little bell there to make sure you get notifications. And of course, if you can, we'd very much appreciate it if you joined us as a patron on Patreon.com/Taiwan Report.
This has been brought to you by the Taiwan Report. For more content like this, become our patron at report.tw.
哎呦，就是那个台湾狗啦，最喜欢我的台湾狗了。